Okay, this is from number 13 on the study guide, and this is sketching and shading a system of inequalities where you have your conic sections for your inequalities. So first of all, you have to recognize these graphs. You have to know what they are. Y less than or equal to x squared, the border of that graph is going to be a parabola. You should recognize y equals x squared as a parabola with its vertex at the origin. And you can graph a couple of points. You know that 1, 1 is on that graph. And negative 1, 1 is also on there, because if you put in 1 for x, you get x squared is 1, so y would be 1. Anyway, you recognize this as your most basic parabola that's at the origin, and I know that's a horrible picture, but I'm doing my best. Okay, and then the second equation, you should recognize that as a circle with radius 2. So this is a circle with radius 2. And you just have to know what your conic sections look like. If you have y equals x squared, something where the x term is squared, that's a parabola. If you have both x and y squared, you are going to have some kind of a circle. Okay, so you can graph this circle, and again, this picture is not going to be beautiful at all, but I'm working with the computer, so it's kind of hard. Alright, so you have to figure out where you're going to shade this thing. First of all, I would check to see if you're going to shade inside the circle or outside the circle. There's two choices. Either the points inside the circle work for this second equation, or inequality, or the points outside the circle work. It's either one or the other. So to figure it out, you can just check a point that is inside and see if it works. If it works, then all the points inside work. If you check a point inside and it doesn't work, then all the points outside the circle are going to work for this inequality. So the easiest point to check inside the circle is 0, 0. So if I put 0, 0 into the equation of the circle, I get 0 plus 0 is less than or equal to 4, which is 0 is less than or equal to 4. 0 is less than 4. So it does work. So I know that I'm going to shade inside the circle. So I just put some little arrows to remind myself that that's what I'm going to do, is shade inside the circle. Now I check the parabola. I can't check 0, 0 for the parabola because 0, 0 is actually on the parabola. So I need to check a point that's not on there. And for the parabola, either the points inside the parabola, inside the curve, are going to work, or the points outside the curve are going to work. So if I check 0, 1, I'm checking a point that's inside the parabola, and I'm going to see if it works in the inequality. So at 0, 1, x is 0 and y is 1. So that would say 1 is less than or equal to 0, which is not true. So the points inside the parabola are not going to work. So I have to shade outside the parabola. So I'm going to point my arrows to the outside of the parabola. Okay, so the points that work for both of these things I just said are inside the circle but outside the parabola. So it's going to be this area here. And be careful when you're drawing these pictures on your tests or any of your homework. You need to make sure it's neat enough that I can tell where the basic points are. It's got to be even neater than this picture right here, because obviously it's harder to do it on the computer than it is on a piece of paper. So if you need to get a ruler or whatever, or a protractor or a compass or whatever you need to make your picture a little bit neater, make sure you do that.